Good morning. Time to go to the beach. Wanna go to the beach? Do you wanna go to the beach? Yeah, you do. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel. I'm filming a what I eat in a day, and I'm also going to talk about my 2021 goals and how I'm doing with my paleo challenge, because it's a few days in and I'm feeling really good, and there's a few things that I've seen come up and kind of felt that I really want to share with you guys, especially with my Akashic Records and channeling. Like, I just feel like I'm connecting without like opening my Akashic Records, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to talk about that. I will definitely do a separate video with like my progress and stuff, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I'm eating on this paleo diet. I don't like saying diet, but you know, paleo nutritious food I'm eating. And I'm not following it 100%, like I'm eating a lot of fruit and all that, but I'm following most of it. And that was kind of like the whole goal. Sorry, my hands are shaky. That was kind of my goal, just to eat healthier, cut out all the processed food and balance my hormones. So it's not about weight loss, it's more about just feeling better and having more energy and having less brain fog. And I think it's working. It's gonna take time. You know, I've been eating pretty crappy for a while, but I'm kind of buckling down for about 2 months just so I can get my thyroids tested again, with like thyroid antibodies tested again, and then see what happens with all these changes, and plus the acupuncture like I'd mentioned before. So I'm gonna crack on with some work, get some stuff done, and I'll share with you what I'm eating today. So I'm gonna start with coffee. Good girl. Guys, I made some protein paleo balls and they are almost gone. Literally made them yesterday. So I'm gonna share that recipe with you guys today, so you guys can see exactly how I make it. This one's a little bit different. I put in cacao and I put in hemp seeds, but really you can put anything you want. I put in some like sugar-free chocolate, little chocolate chips in there, and it kind of gives it an extra little crunch, and it just tastes chocolatier. So yeah, I'll share that in this video after I show you what I eat in a day. I had to make myself a smoothie because I was so hungry, and it's only 8:50 a.m. So I'm gonna chug this probably, and yeah, I will show you guys what I eat for lunch as well, which will probably be like eggs, bacon, some avocado, and that's probably about it. I'll check in later. It's a while later, it's about 1:38, and I had 2 slices of this oven roasted chicken breast, which is really good. And now I'm just making some bacon and eggs, and I'm gonna have some avocado, so that'll be my lunch. It's a bit of a late lunch because I was a bit busy, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm quite hungry. So here we have lunch. It's some bacon, some avocado, and scrambled eggs. And it's a quick one, so I'm sure I'm gonna get hungry again and I'll have to eat something in a while, but this should tide me over for a little bit. So I'm now having a little snack. It's about 3 o'clock. So this is papaya and some banana, because I feel like something sweet, but I wanted like something fresh, something like juicy. So Yep, this is my snack. I want to talk a little bit about the paleo kind of nutrition I'm on and this kind of challenge I've set for myself for 2021. It's like a big one because I felt like I needed to take control of my thyroid and all the issues I'm having with it, which is pretty serious, and I don't want to keep putting it off. I know there's taking certain steps, like I was going to acupuncture and I was doing all things like that, but then when you don't exercise properly and you don't eat properly, it's kind of like that all goes away. It makes no difference if I'm treating it holistically, but you know, I know in my mind that food's such an important part. Oh my gosh, Sandy. She snorts like a pig. I always think like she's half dog, half pig. So my idea with the paleo thing was, it's like not about losing weight. It's more about inflammation. It's about getting my thyroid antibodies back kind of in check and figuring out why I'm so foggy in the brain, why I'm having so many issues with concentrating and sleeping. And you know, my supplements are pretty good. I've been taking supplements since January, so I've got my vitamin D and my vitamin B levels completely controlled. Like they're not, you know, I'm not having issues with deficiencies in that sense, so I know I'm okay in that. But I felt like my nutrition was something that I've kind of it's always been important to me, but I wasn't taking it seriously in the last like 6 months. And I think that was a lot to do with the pandemic and everything that happened. So I've got it back under control. So I've shared a little bit about what I eat in a day. I actually didn't include dinner because I forgot to film that, but dinner was some steak and some salad and a little bit of sweet potato fries. So it was like half a sweet potato. And I did that all in the air fryer, except the steak, which was done on a skillet. Pretty good. Like, you know, I've been eating a lot of fruit, which maybe is not the best because of the sugar content, but I'm picking my battles. I'd rather eat that than eat processed food. And especially when, you know, you feel the urge to eat something sweet. Like I'm still trying to fill up with veggies. I'm still trying to fill up with good proteins, like they're all grass-fed or grass-finished and organic and antibiotic free and all that. So I want to kind of just tell you how I'm feeling and how I've been feeling with this transition I've made, because I literally went cold turkey with sugar. I'd already been off caffeine, so that wasn't an issue for me, and it was at first when I did it last year. I thought I was gonna die. I got a massive headache. It was just irritable. I felt like crap. So this time around, cutting out sugar completely, and believe me, I was eating lots of processed sugar. I expected some kind of, but yeah, nothing. I just felt great. I was like, this feels normal. My body's liking it. So the first thing I'm feeling is definitely a little bit more clear. I still feel tired. That's probably because hormonally I'm due soon, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. I was a week before I get my period. I always feel a little bit, you know, tired and drained of energy, so that's normal. I'm gonna have to see how I feel next week, because that will definitely make a difference. But I've been feeling a lot of more clarity with my channeling, which I kind of expected in a way, but not as amazing as it's been this week. Like connecting and receiving messages without even having to say the prayer or the verse to connect, which to me, not that it hasn't happened before, but it just felt so seamless. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm downloading information and this is the Akashic Records. Like, wow. So that was really cool to just have that happen on its own and not have to say, oh, let me go open my records because I feel like I need to channel something. It's kind of cool, and it just opens on its own, and you can just be like, oh, I need to receive this message right now. I don't have to take the time to read a verse. So that for one. Energetically speaking, I do feel more energized, apart from what I said before, but I do feel more connected with my body. I still feel bloated, and I don't know if that has something to do with the magnesium I'm taking at night. I might not be taking the right quantity, so I need to measure that and really just kind of listen to my body. I have not been drinking enough water, and that always is an issue for me, so I definitely need to get that in check. Yeah, I mean, the first few days I was so hungry. Like I thought I wasn't eating that many calories because I've been tracking my food for the last few days, but it felt like I was eating thousands of calories, but I was always under 2,000 from what I'm tracking. And it's interesting to see that, because I think a lot of us don't know how many calories we consume in a day. So I didn't pressure myself to eat more or less. I was like, all right, let me just see how much I'm eating if I'm eating paleo, like what is my body asking me to eat? So it's always around the 1800 calories. I think that usually is what it's been for the last few days, and it feels good. I don't go to bed hungry. I do wake up hungry in the morning, but if I wait a little bit and have my coffee, I'm able to just kind of like wait until lunch to have a big lunch. Yeah, it's been good, and I'm gonna continue this for at least till the end of the month, as strict as I can, and just see how my body feels. And then after that, I'm going to try to continue it a little bit longer, but if I can't, then I will just listen to my body and see what it's asking me to eat. So there's not much more I want to share about, you know, my meal plans or what I'm doing. I'm definitely more organized with what I'm eating, and I'm trying to be really, like, I cleaned out the fridge and got rid of a bunch of junk that we had that was like, a lot of it was expired and just bad. So it's been nice to kind of just like have a clean slate in that sense, and just eating lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of really good quality proteins, nuts, seeds, and just the only kind of thing apart from water is decaf coffee that I'm having, and it's one a day in the morning. And then that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna share with you guys now my protein ball recipe, which I've had for a while and I wanted to share, but I wanted to find like the right moment to share it. So I'll also link the recipe which I have on my blog, so you'll be able to check it there. I've done a few different things with the protein balls, so they're not always the same, and I add in different ingredients. So just play around and have fun with it and see what you like. So like I put in, for example, hemp seeds this time, and it gives it a different taste, and it gives it other kind of nutritious value, because I didn't want to use chia seeds this time. So yeah, I'm gonna close off the vlog after that, so enjoy the recipe, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay guys, I've done a voiceover because the recording I did was so noisy with all the packaging. So the first thing you're gonna need is some cinnamon, and I'd like to use a lot of cinnamon, so I would definitely recommend you have some on hand. Some cacao, which has no sugar in it if possible. That kind of helps keep it a little bit healthier. Some chia seeds, optional. You can also use hemp seeds, which is quite delicious. Nuts, I tend to use almonds and walnuts. Those are my favorite, and also cashews. And depends what I have on hand or whatever I bought. Some pitted dates, and here I'm gonna guys show you just that I had some sliced almonds, so I ended up using those up. I had quite a few actually left over. Some whole almonds and sliced almonds. And then after that, coconut oil, but you can also use a peanut butter or almond butter or some kind of nut butter to kind of make it a little bit more creamier. I am using my NutriBullet, but if you have a food processor, even better, because that's gonna help you kind of get everything together a little bit better. So now I'm gonna just start putting in batches. So we're gonna do a few batches. I don't like to put it all together because it gets really hard to mix it all together if I put it all in one batch, but it might work on your food processor, so just check. I put in about 20 something dates. I never usually count, but I tried to count for you guys, so it was about 23. And this is where I put in my dry ingredients. I'm gonna put in my cinnamon. I kind of just wing it there, whatever looks good, quite a bit. And then the cacao, which is generally about a teaspoon. After that, I'm gonna put in some chia seeds. If you don't want chia seeds, definitely use hemp seeds. I would recommend just 1 teaspoon of the chia seeds. Here I'm putting in 1 cup of nuts, so whatever nuts you prefer. The chia seeds, like I said, use 1 teaspoon, not 2. I put way too much in this recipe. And then 1 teaspoon of coconut oil or butter, like an almond butter. And here I'm just showing you guys the consistency. So it's still grainy, it's still chunky, but it's literally like it all comes together and it's sticky. So it needs to be a sticky consistency. So you guys can see there's still chunks, and it's good because it's crunchy. I like it that way at least. So you might need to kind of faff around with it, like turn it upside down, or you know, take the sides off because it gets quite stuck. So yeah, you got to shake it a little bit. And once you're done with one batch, you're going to get a bowl to put all your batches in, and then just stick it in the bowl and then continue with your next batch. So when you're mixing up the ingredients, you're going to find Yeah, it can get quite tricky if you're using something like a NutriBullet. It's gonna stick, you're gonna need to like take it off, shake it, or maybe even open the lid up and move around the ingredients. But you know it's ready when it kind of moves like this. It's all kind of solidified. So here we have all of our batches all in one bowl, and I'm gonna mix it really well. Usually I just use my hands, and then I want to show you guys here the consistency. This is the most important part. You need to make sure that when you kind of grab the dough, I guess you'd say, it sticks. It's sticky, but not so sticky that it sticks on your hands and that you can't get it off. Like, it needs to be nice and creamy in that way, so you can kind of see there the consistency, and that, you know, the dates are what give it that consistency. The coconut oil also helps. So you're just gonna grab, you know, a little bit of a palm-sized, and just make little balls out of it. So I usually have like my little Tupperware or a plate or something, and I just make them into balls. And I'm gonna do like a quick speeded up version of this so you guys can see, and then I'll show you the finished product once that's done. So you can see a little ball there. It's a little blurry, but yeah, so you can just do that with all of them now. So once you're done, you'll see you have perfect protein balls. You can also even add coconut, like a dried coconut. That usually tastes really good if that's your thing. And the size of the balls really depends on whatever you prefer. Sometimes I like making them a little bit more bite-sized so I don't eat a huge protein ball. And sometimes I'll make different sizes when I create them, but they're really good. Make sure you keep them in an airtight container. I like keeping them outside of the fridge because I like them having them at room temperature. But if you want to keep them lasting longer, a definitely airtight container and leave it in the fridge, and that should last for a couple of days. We usually get through these in a day or two because we love them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I'll link it below as well so you have all of the details.